this experiment who... So Xbox Game Pass has just gotten too big now, and I decided to make a massive list of the best 60 plus Xbox Game Pass games you can't miss this 2024. This list has RPGs, open world games, racing, action adventure, co-op, and a whole lot more. So with that, let's dive into this and start this list off with one of my personal favorite games of the past 2023, that is Starfield. Now this is a true space RPG from Bethesda, and I admit guys, it has been a bit polarizing to say the least. You either kind of love this or you hate it. Personally though, for me, I'm a big fan with over 100 plus hours now, and Starfield honestly offers a gripping main story that does reel you in right from the start. But I personally found myself exploring and taking on a myriad of the side quests that are almost endless in this game. I think they're pretty dang fun, especially when you explore different cities and you meet the local folks settled on different planets around this huge galaxy. Now, many of the major cities in this game are filled with NPCs with their own unique cultures and lifestyles, so it makes it fun when you land in one of these new areas and you get to kind of run around and explore and talk to people and find new missions. Then, as I said, you've got side quests with backstories that can pretty much take you on some wild rides, and for me, these were as memorable as the main quest line. Now as for the combat, I think it's a blast, but you do have to unlock a lot of the more core combat skills that make it a lot more fun compared to the start of the game, where I do admit it gets a little boring. I do find it fun and challenging if you raise the difficulty, and you can totally deck yourself out with an arsenal variety of fully customizable weapons and mods. And guys, I'll admit, the game isn't perfect by any means, but if you've played a Bethesda title in the past, like any of the Fallout games or Elder Scrolls, you won't see a huge difference in the way this plays. But for me, overall, I think this is a must-play RPG title for fans who love sci-fi space adventures. Now, Starfield isn't the only space-themed game on this list. We also have Prey. This is an exciting sci-fi thriller that takes you on a wild ride aboard the Talos, a space station gone completely bonkers after a failed experiment that was supposed to change the fate of humanity forever. Here you play as Morgan, a key subject of this experiment who finds himself stuck on this spaceship now overrun by fierce alien monsters. Now it's just you against a horde of mutants, and the only way is to figure out what went wrong and fix it before you become their feast. If you're into gripping stories and intense gunplay, Prey's a great game to play on Game Pass. Now our next game, Valheim, is a total standout indie title in the survival game universe. Valheim's all about surviving in a Norse mythology-inspired Viking world where you start with nothing but a piece of cloth and a rock. Much like Rust, you've got to learn the ropes of survival in a mythical land packed with wild beasts and all sorts of strange creatures. Now you've got all the usual survival stuff, resource gathering, crafting, hunting, fighting, you name it. But what makes Valheim different, besides of course the whole Vikings touch, is the killer co-op gameplay that lets you tag along with your buddies as you fight in the name of Odin. Now another awesome part about Valheim is it's one of the most friendly single-player survival games I've ever seen as well, so whether you have friends or you go solo, this is still one of the best survival games to play this 2024. Now while we're on the topic of ancient mythologies, I think Immortals Phoenix Rising also deserves a mention. In this game you embark on a mythical adventure to save the Greek gods from a dark curse. With the help of their godly powers, you're going to be battling against some colossal monsters, solving some challenging puzzles, and explore a massive open world filled with loot and lore, and you'll be uncovering the dark secrets of this mythical land. Now Phoenix Rising offers a fun mix of open world exploration, puzzle solving, and of course epic combat, and it's also great for beginners as there's plenty of resources that really keep you out of trouble when things get hard. If you guys are looking for a fun action adventure game, honestly you can't go wrong with Immortals Phoenix Rising. Now speaking of games that are pretty short, I think As Dusk Falls also a great bite-sized adventure that you will definitely love. The plot of this game kicks off with two families tangled up in a motel robbery in a small town, and now the fate of their existence is going to be lying in your hands and all the decisions that you make. As Dusk Falls is kind of like watching an animated movie that you can control with the choices that you make, and it's not your typical story-driven action game either. It's more like a motion comic with real people telling their stories, and it's really up to you that they don't end up dead. But you know what the best part about this game is? You can actually play this game cooperatively with up to 7 other friends, either locally or online, which makes things so much more interesting. So Sea of Thieves is really the ultimate first-person experience that lets you live the exciting life of a pirate. This game's all about teaming up and doing pirate stuff with your crewmates, from treasure hunting in deep ends of the Caribbean Sea to fighting skeletal monsters or abandoned islands. There's so much going on in this game. The combat is really fun as well. You can fight battles on your ships while screaming orders at your crewmates, or just dive headfirst into solo combat with your makeshift weapons. There's no last one standing here, and there's just a load of pirate fun adventures. So I've gotten to play a ton of action shooters in my life, but nothing's just quite like High on Life. It's an absurd shooter that throws you into the world invaded by junky aliens who want to use humans as their drug source to get high. The game's more like a gallery of vibrant and diverse worlds, each with their own unique color palettes and impressively quirky creatures. However, the main attraction of this game is the guns, and by the guns I mean these small, loud, crazy aliens in the shape of guns that chat with you while you fight off aliens from turning humans into their drug stash. High on Life is surely going to keep you hooked for hours with its awesome visuals, a healthy dose of absurd humor that's gonna have you cracking up while playing this game while shooting it out with some crazy aliens. This next game is very different from everything we've mentioned so far in Stardew Valley. This is the ultimate chill farming game where you get to kick back and relax in your own little farm. It's like a 2D pixelated farming sim where you are free to do anything you want. You can grow crops, you can raise animals, you can go fishing, attend community events, you can decorate your farm, you can even deep dungeon dive if you want, or simply just chat with the local town folk. The possibilities here are truly endless. It might look simple, but there's a lot of depth in this game, and if you enjoy farming sims, Stardew Valley is sure to keep you guys hooked for many hours. You are the boss here. You choose the task, you set the pace, and you do things that just make you feel happy. There's really no rush whatsoever with this game. Staying on the games that are pixelated, we have one that was a sleeper this 2023, and that's Sea of Stars, and I think this could be the best indie game of this past year. It's nostalgic yet refreshingly modern RPG experience that knows exactly how to keep you engaged. In this game you play as 2 children of Solstice, and your mission is to defeat this very evil Fleshmancer. Sea of Stars offers an innovative turn-based combat experience that blends action and timing to boost damage and strategic play without that classic RPG grind. Despite its retro look though, this game features a very in-depth exploration. You'll be doing things of course like swimming, climbing, and leaping across the world without grid restrictions like in most traditional games. This is a great title for someone who's looking for a modern take on classic RPG. So the game Ghostwire Tokyo is one of my favorite supernatural adventure games that takes you on an epic journey through a beautifully twisted version of Tokyo. Evil yokai spirits have taken over the city, and they're just wreaking havoc on everything that dares stands in their way. And now it's up to you to save your city using your elemental abilities that allow you to swiftly parkour around and then fight these monsters. If you're someone like me, you'll definitely fall for the epic fights in this game, the exciting cutscenes, and of course those stunning visuals that really add more life to the game. So if you prefer to keep things almost realistic, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands just might be your speed. In this game you play as Ghost, a highly skilled covert operative sent on a high-stakes mission to fight and eliminate the Santa Blanca cartel that's been oppressing the residents for years. This is an absolute thriller of a game with a vast open world, jaw-dropping landscapes, heart-pumping action, and the very best part, it's a co-op adventure that lets you tag along with up to 3 friends and create your little military dream and use your own unique skills to take down the oppressive regime. If you guys want to play this completely solo though, you absolutely can, and you can control the AI pretty well. This is a very much a little hidden sleeper of a game, and one that I absolutely recommend. So the LEGO Star Wars Saga is yet another epic action adventure game that brilliantly combines the epic story of Star Wars and of course the cute looks of LEGO, and it makes this really cool adventure that anyone of any age can enjoy. Now, us Star Wars fans get to journey through all 9 major movies in the saga with over 300 characters to choose from. Characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi. You can even play evil villains if you want. The game is massive with over 23 unique explorable planets with more than 100 awesome vehicles to travel with in style. But the thing that I love the most about this game is the fun combat. A Star Wars game just isn't incredible without a lightsaber duel that always gets really super epic. Our next game is War Tales. This is an innovative new tactical RPG RPG set in a vast open world where you actually don't play as the hero trying to save the kingdom for once, but you're actually just another character who's trying to survive in a brutal land. It's a game all about assembling your group of mercenaries, each with their own quirks and talents, to explore the villages and ancient ruins nearby. But survival isn't about just getting by in this game, it's about taking the power from the big shots, conquering their lands, looting resources, and sometimes helping the innocents. War Tales is a shared cooperative adventure that lets you have a fun time with your friends, planning sieges, battling enemies, and sharing stories by the campfire. Alright Pokemon fans, if you're up for a fresh take on monster taming, I think Cassette Beast might just be that next go-to game. It's not your average Pokemon knockoff though. Cassette Beast offers a pretty unique and innovative gameplay that makes it stand out in the monster taming genre. Instead of you just kind of catching monsters, you actually record them on your retro cassette tapes and you play them back during battles to gain their abilities and you become one of them. The game even lets you combine two beasts together to create a completely unique one that can help you defeat fierce rivals. But the best part is, Cassette Beast also lets you tag along with one of your friends in couch co-op mode for the ultimate battle experience. If you're looking for a Pokemon fix on your Xbox, I think this is a great alternative. So we have Psychonauts 2, the sequel to the fan favorite Psychonauts game that not only met our expectations, but honestly, I think it takes the series to a whole new level. In this game you play as Raz, a psychic hero who is tasked to find the moles secretly working in their organization. And while you're at it, you also need to figure out the reason behind your leader's strange behavior. So it ends up being time to put your psychic hat on and show your acrobatic skills as you jump, fly, and blast your way through challenging obstacles in this epic platforming adventure. Now this is a great game for someone who just loves an unconventional story with some thrilling gameplay and of course challenging puzzles. Now if you're an RPG lover, I have the game for you, and that's Persona 5 Tactica, the latest addition to the long-running Persona series. Now if you're an RPG lover, I have beginner to the Persona serialization, and while you're at, we have Psychonauts 2, the sequel to the fan favorite Psychonauts game that not only is a long-time fan, I think this is a must-play RPG if you have Game Pass. If not, go ahead and enjoy any of the other Persona games on Xbox Game Pass.
Psychonauts 3 diyecektim bu arada.
Arcadey take on the usual intense games, but also introduce some quality.
Koleksiyon olduğunu söyle. Ha.
Chock full of amazing to get